to the Cat's Corner. Look who we got in the Cat's Corner today. Big
Stevie Ray.
Our man Johnson. How you doing?
Suckers gotta know.
Hey man, you better leave our man Johnson alone, man.
Hey, me and our man made up. We had we met up in New Jersey. I saw him in New Jersey. He the nicest guy you want to see now, Stevie. Back in the day when he was in WWE, our man Johnson, man, I looked and saw that guy. I thought he was the meanest guy in the ring, man. He just looked mean.
Well, that's his job, man. He's doing his job, brother.
Man, he scared the shit out of me, Stevie.
Well, I thought the Cat wasn't scared of nobody, man. Now, how all of a sudden a man walking around in WWE is scaring the Cat? That's what I want to know. That
man was, if he had straightened his legs out, he would have been about maybe 6'8". That dude was bow-legged.
What is he now?
He's about 5'11". He about 5'11" now, Stevie. That bubble should have put on some cowboy boots when he saw me. He came out like, God, oh man, what the rest of you? I looked at it. He about 5'11" now, Stevie.
I saw the picture. I'm like, damn, did the Cat get taller?
He said,
I'm like, damn. I was like, who is that? What the hell?
Big Stevie. So I want to introduce you to my co-host. His name is Big Suge, Big Ray. Ray, say hello.
His name is what? Big Suge.
You've heard of Suge Knight? You've heard of Suge Knight? I'm Suge White.
Actually, I haven't. Well,
yes, you have. You know who the hell Suge Knight is?
Actually, I have. But anyway, you're Suge too, huh?
No, my name is Ray. You know how that shit goes. They call you Sugar Ray, and it just,
okay, I got you.
I got you. Just the derivative. You know,
I got you. Yeah, I get that a lot too. A lot of people used to call me Sugar Ray, and I'm like, look, dog, no, my name's Stevie Ray.
Stevie Ray.
But Sugar Ray is so popular over the years, so
anything
with an S, people think is a derivative of sugar.
Right, absolutely. Ray on
Big Stevie Ray. Just in case people didn't know, you got your own podcast and show too, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm in my dungeon right now, man. This is why I take my podcast, and this is why I also do interviews for podcasts like I'm doing right now with you guys. But usually when I do these kind of interviews with guys like yourself, I usually charge them. But since you and I go back a long way, I'm going to make an exception for you. You know what I'm saying? You got the right to use this content. Okay.
Hey, Big Stevie Ray, you didn't have to do that, man.
Well, I'm just letting you know.
Tell the world I was a cheap nigga. That's pretty much what you said. I was cheap. Don't do that, Stevie.
Now,
let them know, or let them think that I paid you big money. Come on now, man.
You never will pay for nothing, man.
Now listen,
he get up and leave the restaurant. Say, I got to go to the bathroom when the check comes.
Oh, believe me, I know. Believe me, I know. Hey, quick question: would that be Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray, or Stand Up for Greatness?
That's another podcast that I used to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one are you doing now?
Straight Shooting with Stevie Ray.
Straight Shooting.
Now, don't you do one with Sonny Ono? Stand Up for Greatness.
Do you do one with
Sonny Ono? Comes on the show. He's a guest.
Okay. All right.
But Sonny Ono, I refuse to put anybody's name on my podcast other than myself. Especially Sonny Ono. I don't need bad press, brother. You know what I'm saying? Sonny Ono is a guest. He's a guest when I'm not having somebody on. So he's like a filler. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Stevie.
Yeah.
Does he know this?
No.
No, he thinks he's your co-host.
Yeah, he thinks he's a co-host.
And he thinks he's very important to your podcast too.
Yeah,
but right now you say he's just a fill-in when you don't have anybody else.
Well, no, he's a good fill-in. The fans seem to like his humor and some of the things that he talks about, and they exude his, edgy racism that he exudes on a weekly basis. So the fans have got used to him now. So he's good.
Now, this is what I don't understand is how you, Sonny, and Vince Russo all get a a spot together on your podcast. You know, because I know Sonny is, you know, he's Japanese and he look up to only Japanese people.
Yeah, no, I found that out.
And then you are Malcolm X little junior.
Wait a minute,
well,
brother.
I'm just saying,
wait a minute.
Steven, I'm just saying
Wait a minute, man. Now
I heard you
I've said some disparaging things about you as it pertains to the African American, you know, in this country, but they were jokes. When I said that Ernest wasn't really one of us.
Yeah, that was
he's actually acting like one of us, but he's actually Indonesian.
He claims Indian a lot. When I'm with him, he claims Indian.
I'm black and Cherokee.
That's what he told me.
You see
Cherokee,
that?
Stephen.
I wasn't talking about no indigenous Indian.
Yeah, I know what kind of Indian you're talking about.
He said he was related to Tatanka.
I'm talking about a Bollywood.
Bollywood.
He's more of a Bollywood guy, but he don't want to accept that, you know.
Right. But he did say he owned the 7-Eleven in Buckhead.
And a
couple of gas stations.
Yeah,
and couldn't you tell I wore the red velvet shoes? You know, the old folks like the colorful shoes on the velvet types on their feet, you know?
No. Well, this your content, man, not mine. So this won't be on my show.
You said it, Stephen.
No, but your boy Big Ray, he regurgitated it. So what that make him?
We know the cat. We know his MO.
We already know what he's about, Stevie. Come on now. Look at him, Stevie. Look at that boy, Stevie. This boy got the glasses. He got the polo shirt on. He got the hair pushed up in the front.
Yeah, he probably got his golf clothes waiting by the door.
He got the Rolex on. We ready to roll, baby. Let's do it.
He got his golf pants on.
I got on blue jeans, baby. I'm ready to roll.
What's the name of those moccasin shoes they wear with the coin in the middle of it?
Penny loafers.
Yeah, that boy got his penny loafers on.
Yeah, all the white stuff.
Now,
white stuff.
Ray is cool. Ray is real cool, man, and I'm glad to have him here, Stephen.
He said his crackers go. I'm one of the good crackers, is what he said. That's what he said.
Did he say that?
Yeah, that's what he said. That's crackers go, Ray. You wanted the good ones.
Well, be it as it may, I mean, I appreciate you guys bringing me on the episode of the Cat's Corner, Ernest the Cat Miller, and Mr. Big Ray. I'm here for you guys, and whatever you guys want to talk about, man, I'm open for it.
We already know you're a Hall of Famer. We already know you're a Hall of Famer. We know you do podcasts. We know about your wrestling career. What did you do before you got into wrestling?
Oh man, I did a few things. I had my own business before I got into wrestling business. I had my own security bodyguard company. Okay. Actually, me and Ahmed Johnson was partners. So
wow.
We had our own company before we got in this business.
Well, that's amazing. So I think a lot of people didn't know that.
Frankly, I really don't on my own podcast, I talk about my previous life and certain things I've done, but really and truly, that's really not an interesting story, interesting stuff to talk
about. Stevie,
unless I'm talking about people that really understand that.
It is to me, Stevie. It is to me, Stevie. And I'm going to tell you why, because I know some dirt.
No, I was just letting him know. Hold on a second, Cat. I was just letting him know when he said, I didn't know that. Because I really don't talk about it.
You don't talk about yourself. But listen, you had an interesting career before wrestling. That's what I was telling him. I mean, you worked in some nice high-end clubs too with your body security guard. And you beat up a couple of
Wait a minute. No, I didn't. Don't you start that, man. I didn't beat up anyone.
Steven, please tell the story with these. I'm not going to say that. Let's just say they smaller people decide to try you, and you snuck behind them and hit them in the back of the head. And the only thing you remember seeing was a bunch of candy rolling all over the ground because one of them had a bag of candy in their hand.
See, this is the thing, Cat. You don't lead me into things you and I have been talking about. See, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let the Cat lead me in, and people look at me in a different light. I'm not going to let you do that, Cat.
We ain't gonna talk about it, but let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question, Stephen. Working in a club, man, it's a hard business. You know, I mean, I've gone to a lot of clubs here in Atlanta, especially big clubs. Like, what kind of problem? What was the main problem you had inside, let's say, a busy club like your club? What you think?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Kat. Kat and I have talked about things like this in the past and talked about that lifestyle in the past. But since we're on the podcast now, I'm gonna be straight up and honest with you. On a day-to-day basis, 90% of the time, everything was cool. 90% of the time. Every blue moon, you would get situations in a club. Because you got to realize back in those days, people were really about partying. They really wasn't about being seen. Everybody thinking they're a star when they go out. And everybody thinking, look at me. Oh, I got a gun in my pocket and this, that, and the other, and I want to shoot somebody. We really didn't have a lot. Every now and then, but you would get the one drunk guy, or you get the two girls that want to fight, or you might get a guy that might want to, but it was so few and far between because I'm the kind of guy, I kept a lock on things and everybody knew who I was and what I was about. So I was cool with most of the people come in there or make myself, presentable to them. So I could always pretty much, if something went down, solve it with, verbally instead of physically. Even though I've made jokes about Ernest Miller, somebody like Ernest came in the club, you know what I'm saying? I got my eye on him because I'm waiting for him to do something because I already know he a karate man. He want to go out and test people, and I got my eyes on him. And soon as he gets out of line, as soon as he's not going to even see me. You hear me, Big Ray? He's not going to see me.
He going to get snatched. He ain't going to know
He
it.
ain't going to know it until the ambulance. I didn't say ambulance. I didn't say ambulance. Okay?
You said ambulance.
You know what that is? You know what that is, right? That's when he wake up and go, what happened?
What happened?
Steven, back in the day, baby, that's where my practice used to come from. I used to go to club, just started fights. Just because I wanted to practice up. Security see me coming, and they say, we know he's coming and no good because he got flip-flops on. What kind of person try to get into a club with flip-flop that they can kick off and kick people? So they will stop me at the door and say, Ernest, you can't come in here with those flip-flops on, no shoes. And then
is that why you started wearing the red shoes? Is that why you started wearing the red shoes?
I actually started wrestling without in the shoes. I was bare feet out there. Steve, how many wrestlers have you known to wrestle without in the boots and the thing, just bare feet?
Only the Polynesian guys and some of the Japanese guys.
And
who are both from the South Pacific. So maybe that's just what they do in that part of the world,
But wait a minute, didn't one of the what's the name of that show out? The guy with the claw, his family.
One of those brothers. I'm just, I guess it's been a few, but I'm just talking about something that you see on a usual basis. The Polynesian guys and some of the Japanese guys, that back in the day, that was normal for them.
So Stephen, when you made that transition, right? How did you get from being a bodyguard of your own business to the pro wrestling business?
Well, just going to a wrestling school. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I just went to a wrestling school just to try it. Because it's like back when I was a kid, man, 11, 12, 13 years old, different, like a boxing school opened up. We had here in Houston called PABA. And it was a reverend that would, take kids in and teach them how to box and stuff like that. And I did that, even though I wasn't a kid on the street. It was just something I wanted to do. But it was so far away from me, I couldn't do it continuously. And then not too far from where I lived, the guy opened up a karate school. And me and some of my little friends, we tried that for like a summer.
Whoa. Steve, you took karate before?
Yeah.
You ain't never told me that.
Well,
I thought you was a karate hating kind of what.
Well,
but now I see you one of us. No, you one of us, bro.
No,
if you took
I
one day.
I do hate karate. I hated the karate teacher. If I was big enough, I would have broke him in half. You're lucky I was a kid. You're lucky I was a kid at that time. I wanted to see him after I grew up and became started hitting the weights. I wanted to see him then. I wanted him to walk in the club, one of the clubs I walked in one night.
Oh my goodness.
Did you feel like he bullied you? Is that why? Did he bully you?
No, I was just no good at taking instructions and criticism and stuff like that. I never put that on anybody else. It was just my demeanor coming up. I got kicked out of music in school. Who knows what kind of singer I would have been.
Are you a
things
singer?
Like that. Huh?
Are you a singer? Can you sing?
Well, I dabble around in it for fun now, but back when I was a junior,
Did dude know every song there are back in? I think from 75 to 95. I guarantee.
What's your genre?
Probably early mid 60s to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that was one of my hobbies. That was always one of my hobbies, man. To this day,
reading your bio, that makes perfect sense because your two musical influences was Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles, which derivative the name Stevie Ray. So I get it now. And I often wonder why, but now that I know that you sing, see, I'm a singer. Ain't nothing like it, man. It's a blessing.
Right.
Obviously, it's a blessing to be able to do it and entertain people with it. But yeah, I'd love to hear you sing one time. That'd be not right now.
Well, this was in junior high, and I was really into it. You know what I'm saying?
Is R&B your stuff? You like R&B? Is that
no?
What you do?
I'm the kind of person that likes anything that my ears hear.
Okay.
I'm really not a genre person. I'm really just a music person.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
If you like it, you can sing it.
If I like it, I'll buy it.
Okay.
Or I'll listen to it. You know what I'm saying? So
now, did you know Ernest's wife was a singer?
No, I did not.
Ray, let the man talk. We don't want to hear you talk, Ray. We want to hear Big Stevie Ray talk.
Okay, Dad.
That was a legitimate question. No, I didn't know. But what I'm saying is I do another podcast with Vince Russo, and that's what Ernest was alluding to a couple of minutes ago. And we talk about a lot of the musical stuff on the show. Every now and then we'll pick something out and talk about it and this, that, and the other. And people seem to love it. But on that podcast, we cover everything. It's not a wrestling podcast by two wrestling guys. It's a podcast hosted by two wrestling guys, but we talk about everything. Whether it's movies, television shows, music, pro wrestling, football, baseball, basketball, everything. We try to cover everything, even politics.
Well,
and the people seem to love that show. Huh?
Let me ask you, I know you've been in the wrestling business a long time, but
I started in 1989.
Now, let's think back. When was your favorite time the most, what you had, what you not did the most, but the best time for you in this? That's a
great question. And I'm gonna be honest with you. The best time I ever had in professional wrestling in my life is when I didn't have much and I was wrestling just for the love of wrestling. And those days were pretty much when we were in Global. And we used to tape 3-4 shows in one night. And you might have to wrestle 3 times in one night. And that was the best time. That was the most fun time I ever had wrestling because it hadn't really turned into business yet, if you understand what I'm saying. It hadn't turned into business yet, and everything was just concentrating on professional wrestling. And some of the guys back then, that was some of me and my brother's mentors, man, we had such a great time with those guys. And I'll never forget that, bro. To this day, I still love looking at the old tapes of when me and my brothers were in Global. Still love it to this day.
So who ran Global then when you was there?
The owners, man, I can't even remember their names now. I know one was named, I think it was Gray Pierce, because one guy had bought it from another guy. But those wasn't really the guys. Those guys were cool. Those wasn't really the guys. Just the veterans, man, that was pretty much grooming us for the next level. Global was kind of like college. Like when we first got into wrestling, then you start doing little independent shows. That's more like high school. And then we moved up to Global. That's more like college. And then global gets you ready for the pros, which is more like WCW and everything else we started doing after that.
So people like Iceman King Parsons and Brickhouse Brown, those guys kind of like took you under their wing.
Right. Manny Fernandez, Black Bart.
Love the Raging Bull, baby.
Black Bart, Johnny Mantell, Skandar Akbar. I mean, the list goes on and on, man.
So that was a pretty good, a big deal for wrestling. Back though they were some of the superstars they had there.
Well, exactly. And that's the tutelage. That's the tutelage you had to go through back in those days. You know what I'm saying? You had to be worthy to make it to the next level. But everything now is kind of like in-house cookie cutter. But back in those days, that's just the way it was, man.
So how did you get over from there to WCW?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Those guys know other guys in the business.
Okay.
And those guys will vouch for you and say, hey, man, I got a kid down here. I got a tag team down here. I think you guys might want to look at them. Stuff like that. And then somebody will come look at you and see, hey, they might be ready. You know what I'm saying? So on and so forth. That's how it was back then. You didn't move up in the business just by knocking on a door. That's what I'm saying. If you wasn't anointed or somebody wasn't speaking for you, you didn't get in.
Well, is that when they came and got you and your cousin and brought y'all over to WCW?
Actually, we had a chance to go to WWE and WCW at that time.
Oh, wow. I mean, it was WWF.
Both organizations were looking at us, and we had a chance to go over to Japan also.
Wow.
They were trying to do stuff with us, deal with us over in Japan also.
Man,
but WCW, jumped it quicker than everybody else, and that's why we went there.
So you were pretty happy where you was at when you got to WCW, right?
Well, back in those days, you didn't think about things analytically like you think about them once you've been in the business for 15, 20 years. Back then, we just wanted to wrestle and work.
Just wrestle. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We never thought about, to be honest, this is a statement I was making before I got into what you asked me. When we got into the business, we never thought about being a tag team. We never thought about doing it for a living. We never thought about any of that. It was like going to Ernest Miller's karate dojo and just learn how to do some karate.
Yeah.
If you see what I'm saying. That's all we wanted to do and just have some fun with it. Not years I thought that we would go to where we went.
But when did you and your cousin
why you keep calling him his cousin?
Bro, let me talk to my boy, Big Ray. Let me talk to my boy, Big Ray.
Don't break a young man's heart and tell me they're cousins and not brothers.
Well, I'm going by what Rick Steiner told me to ask him. Rick Steiner said that they are really cousins and they're not brothers, but we got him here. So since we got him here, I want you to clear that up yourself, Stevie Ray. Are you and Booker T brothers or cousins?
With whatever you want us to be.
It ain't me. It's Rick Steiner.
Yeah, it is you. I'm on your show. I'm on the Cat's Corner. Should be called the Cat's Meow. And you're asking me things like this.
Bro, he asked, Rick Steiner said, please, Cat, please, Mr. Cat. Stevie Ray.
Please, Mr. Cat.
If anybody's cousins, it's him and Scott. If anybody not from the same household, it's Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner.
But let me see if we bring in those two guys.
I don't think they're first cousins. I think he's a distant cousin.
Hey, Steven, but I'm bringing up the Steiner brothers and Harlem Heat, who was the best team that you worked with that you felt like, oh shit, we can get over together with these guys? Y'all work good together.
I'm gonna be honest with you. So many people ask me that question. I'm gonna tell you the same thing I tell them. We felt as though we wasn't trying to get over with anybody. We felt as though we're gonna get them over.
Oh, okay. All right.
We always went into matches thinking, get those guys over, because that's where we were trained. I don't need a shine. I don't need a shine. You know what I'm saying? Because we know what our persona brings to the wrestling business or to the wrestling focus of a business. So our job was always, how are we going to make these guys look better than when they work with somebody else? That's business to us. Because if we make them look better, it already makes us look better.
But when I tell you this right here, Big Stevie, I tell everybody this. When I was in WCW, I was on Monday night. I did Thursday night. I did some over guys. You know, I worked with guys that was over before, but I didn't realize what over was until Glacier and I had either a Saturday or Thursday night match against Harlem Heat. And man, let me tell you something. They popped when we came out there. I understood it was a good little pop, but when that music hit, man, let me tell you something. I've never heard a crowd get so hyped and was so into a team of wrestlers. You know, you guys. I was like, I could not believe it, man. Now, being that high ranked, I do see you guys rated one of the top teams in the special tag team in the business. But when did you know you was there? And how did you receive that? Knowing that,
well, that I remember that night, and that's the night that the people just wanted us to destroy you guys because, you know, they were tired of looking at you. That's what that was about, man. They just wanted y'all out of the ring, man. They wanted to see they wanted us to have some real competition. Now, you didn't tell Mr. Ray there, Mr. Big Ray, what we did for you to get you a shot. Why did you mention that?
Y'all didn't do a damn thing for me. Y'all
Stop
almost
lying.
ended. Y'all two almost
Stop lying,
ended,
man.
Y'all almost ended my
Stop
career.
Lying.
Y'all almost ended my career.
You want to bring up personal shit? Put Mr. Ray back on. I'm gonna talk to him.
I'm right here.
I don't even want to talk to you no more. I'm gonna tell you what happened that night. They got Glacier, a cartoon character from a video game. No disrespect. Okay. Then they got Ernie. Wait a minute, man. I was talking, Cat.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
No, not with you. Put it back on the screen.
I'm back here. Just flip your thing over. You get both of us on at the same time.
We'll put them on at the same time. I can only see you right now.
Do you have a screen where you can flip your thing across?
Well, I don't want to flip it to him if I'm talking to you.
I got you.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I want you to know I see you though. You may not see me, but
I want you to see me because I want you to hear me more than anything.
I know where you're at. I know.
Let me see if I can cut you off like Flair Flintstone did on Flintstone. Okay.
Go ahead.
Let me see if I can cut you off. Okay. Okay. The Cat was just kind of getting there. He wasn't over yet. They tried to get him up as a baby face, Big Ray. Me and my brother took it upon ourselves. Wait, we look at the kid and say, I mean, look at it. The guy come out with a karate gi on, man. You know, no flash, no.
I did not have a karate gi on.
Can I talk, man?
All right, go ahead.
You came out with a karate gi on, you would take it off. Now, you don't remember that.
I did not have a karate gi on.
Black and gold. It was black and gold. It was black and gold.
You know, I can't remember what cut it was. I want to pull him, jerk his chain, and tell him, "Look, dog, come on, man. You got to come out here. You out here barefooted. You know what I'm saying? Like a little kid in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Running around with the bottom of his feet just black as hell from running up and down the car. Can't come out. I wanted to pull his chain, but so me and my brother got together. We said, hey, man, the Glacier thing, we don't know where that's going. But let's help this guy out, man. So what we did, and he knows this, we were the first people to do this for him. We came up with a plan to get his karate over that nobody else had ever did. Now, you tell me I'm lying, Cat. Say something.
You told me not to say anything.
Oh, okay. Well, let me finish this since he don't want to say something.
All right.
We're going to get him over because he's going to make the hot tag and come in. and me and my brother devised some special spots for him. We knew he was green. We knew he was a greenhouse. So what we did, we don't take advantage of the young brother trying to make it in the business. I'm going to help him out. I'm going to uplift him somewhat. Did he ever say thank you? No, he didn't, but that's cool. He too green to know what we're doing for him because we never told him. So Ernest, we said, hey, man, this is what we're going to do.
Steven, you told me every day after that match, you told me what y'all did for him. So I really appreciate you guys.
I don't think I ever told you.
Yeah,
maybe I told you a couple of times, but I'm telling your boy.
Yeah,
okay,
he
go
don't
ahead.
know you.
I need to know how you got to where you are, Cap.
Yeah, we opened the door for him. So what did we do? We devised some, by the fact that my brother and I, we know karate. Okay? We know karate. He know point fighting karate and all the stuff you do at the dojo. But see, what we were trying to bring out of him, just like a director in a movie, I got to bring the theater kung fu karate out of this man.
You were bringing that's
why we gave him spots that people are aware of because they watch karate movies. You see what I'm saying?
Kung Fu theater. Yes.
Right. So those are the kind of stuff we had him do. And he did it. But then guess what? He want to throw some extra stuff in there. We ain't told you to do this. You see what I'm saying? We ain't told you to do this, dog. Now he's feeling himself. Now he's feeling this. Man, you don't do nothing we ain't told you to do. Rookie, you just getting out the bed, man. I'm trying to help you.
Now, can I tell my part of the story?
No, that's it. I don't want to know what I know.
No,
that's the story,
Ray. Hey, Ray, listen. They did exactly that. They said, okay, Cap, we gonna give you the hot tag. You come in, you do all this. They had me doing like double somersault, flip kick, split kick. They listen, they asked me to do a lot of stuff that they didn't think I could do. Right?
No, we know you can do it.
So when it was my time to show off, I hit every spot they told me to do. And they were flying around the ring. And then
they were bumping their ass off for you.
Man, listen, soon as the crowd got in with me, guess what Stevie did?
Power bombed your ass.
Hell yeah, that's exactly what he did. He set me down with the biggest. I ain't got hit like that in the back of the head the whole time. Man, he just murdered. You know how that kid said that he caught your boy Will Smith.
Will Smith was murdering his ass.
Yeah. That's what they did to me in the back of my head with that blow.
He double axe handled you. He double axe handled you in the back of the head.
What Pat was supposed to do, the crowd was up now. The crowd is behind
it. Up.
What he's supposed to do is go to the crowd, let them know the cat is here, a real karate man. But no, he don't do that. He want to do something that I don't know. Me and my brother look at each other like, what is he? See, we just had to straighten him out. You see what I'm saying, Big Steve? We had to straighten him out.
You had to squelch that shit.
Yeah, I had to do it, brother. Then we explained to him after that. But I'm gonna tell you, brother, that's when people knew. That's the night people knew. The boy know his stuff.
He was for real then that night. Y'all made that's what they call making you. They made you.
Listen.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be honest. If it wasn't for Stevie, I would have been in a whole minute time. I mean, Stevie taught me. He taught me a lot of stuff. He taught me the etiquette or how to act in the dressing room, the locker room, how to get up, shake the older guys, the veteran hand. He taught me how to be a wrestler behind the scene. We talked all the time.
Wipe your feet before you get into the ring, shit like that.
He taught me all that, man. If it wasn't for him and Booker T, I would have been lost. Nobody would really. I didn't know who to ask. For some reason, me and Stevie Ray, and we just hit it off. And those guys did not care about, and it was true. They did not care about making somebody else look good. Because, man, they had me on top of the world. I would believe in my stuff, boy, till I was kicking, double kicking, and the crowd was going crazy. But then when it was time to shut it down, I wasn't ready.
But it didn't make a damn if you was ready or not.
I couldn't do nothing. Those guys 6'7", 300 pounds. They set me down real fast. They threw
It
me
was
over in
on
the
like
corner.
neck bone, baby.
They
went down.
They threw me over in the corner like I was a piece of dirty clothes, and went on to stump a mud hole out of Ray.
But see, this is the deal. What people don't know. The agents wanted us to not give them nothing.
They wanted y'all to squash them.
No, they didn't want us to squash them. They didn't want us to squash them. They wanted to have a little competitive match, but don't give them what we gave them. See, me and my brother ain't never thought like that because we wasn't trained like that. We were supposed to do that in a lot of matches, even the get-over matches. But me and my brother would always go, nah, man, we ain't going to do that. Don't listen to them, listen to us. That's what we would tell the other guys.
Right.
So, because a lot of people want people to fail. And a lot of people want people to look bad. So you never get any kind of praise from your contemporaries or your peers. And see, we know that. Now, if you want to use people to do that, do it, but you're never going to use Harlem Heat to do it. If that makes sense. These are things in the wrestling business that people, if you're not from the wrestling business, you wouldn't know this. But it's a lot of evil ass people in this business. And everybody trying to protect their spot. Well, this guy's a very athletic guy, and he's a karate guy. Okay? What if he looks like Bruce Lee fighting somebody?
Right.
Let's make him look like Bruce Lee. And we got the pleasure out of it. If you see what I'm saying. Now, if we bought it, the fans bought it. That's what's important. Like the question that Kat asked me about, when did you know, you was getting over with certain tag teams? And that's what I said, we never thought about it like that because in our minds, that's selfish.
Well, y'all were two of the hardest working people in the business. There ain't
you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying, working hard is one thing, working smart and working objectively, working smart, working objectively is another because I respect this business. So if I'm in the ring with Ernest Miller, I respect him.
Right.
Even though he probably don't respect me, even though I went out of my way to try to help him, he probably don't. But that's all good. My mom always told me, don't worry about him. Just do what you do. Because at the end of the day, what?
Why you keep attacking me and throwing me under the bus?
I was just letting the man know. I was using you as an example. I didn't mean you personally. I said example.
No, you said Ernest doesn't respect.
I said Ernest Miller might not respect me. I didn't say you didn't respect me.
Why the hell you think you on my show if I don't respect you?
I didn't say you didn't respect me.
He said
what
you
I'm
might.
trying to do is give your friend.
He could have used Ray Lloyd just as easy.
I can tell him.
No,
I am trying to give your co-host an edification in professional wrestling. That's all I'm trying to do, Scat. And I use you as an example.
There you go.
Okay.
Not
Can we use somebody else as an example? Because I get mad, Stevie. You know me.
Well, you and your man got a rapport with each other. And if he uses you, I'm just using you so he can really understand. That's all.
All right. So Stephen, let me ask you this right here. People talk about you being in the ring and what kind of wrestler you are. You're a great wrestler. You're a big man that can move, can fly around. You're athletic. But a lot of people loved you at that color commentator too. They like you when you was yaks and fruit booties and they like that, Stephen. Matter of fact, one of the guys said Stevie Ray. It was Tony Carr. Tony Carr's wife said you was her favorite color commentator when you was there.
I've gotten that from a few people, man. I didn't really realize people enjoyed it so much until actually years later. But a lot of people don't know I got a history in that, man. That's actually what I was going to go to school for. I wanted to be in radio. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know I used to be a DJ here in Houston. I worked in clubs, and then I graduated. I started DJing in clubs and stuff like that. So that used to be one of my loves I wanted to do. So what I used to do when I was coming up, I used to imitate people on the news, like a newscaster.
Yeah.
Or people that was doing a football game or a basketball game. I used to do it subconsciously, and I didn't even really know I was doing it. So I would, talk like them, So I used to do that in the dressing room. That's before you got there, I think, Kat. When we had the little monitors in the dressing room, I would do that for the boys in the dressing room just to make them laugh. Just to make them laugh, you know, like, because we didn't have no sound on the monitors back then. They just hook up a little TV and it's black and white. So we get in front of the monitor and go, you know, oh, that was a big one. Ladies and gentlemen, look at Ernest the Cat Miller coming to the ring, you know. He's just getting into the business, but I think there's a future for this young man, you know, stuff like that. And the guys would laugh so hard. Somebody told Vince Russo about it, and he ended up sticking me out. I was like, why y'all coming to me with this? I didn't learn till years later, Kat. This is the honest to God truth. Maybe 2019, Disco Inferno told Vince Russo he should put me on color. And all these years, I never knew Disco did that. Man, that's where all that came from.
But the thing is, you were so good at it. And one thing is about that, you was able to collect information from the guys. You can come back and say, okay, what are you guys going to do? When you going to do it? And you went out there, you looked like you was like Tom Brady on Monday Night Football. You know, you look like you knew, because you knew what you knew inside the ring.
Right.
You knew outside the ring, in the dressing room. So you was able to dig down into who you are. And what gave you the notion to do that?
That's what you do. I mean, you know, like I said, I wanted to go into radio back when I was coming out of high school. So that's what you do. So I was pretty familiar with doing that anyway. It's like when I would come to the club with different records or LPs that we've gotten, or some of the 12 inches that we've gotten from the record pool back in those days. And I got a whole list of what songs work with other songs. You remember back in those days, the music never stopped. It just changed. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So what songs mix together with other songs, and what I'm going to say when that mix comes through about that group that's coming on right now. So, but I had did that in years. So once I started doing commentating, it just kind of like, okay, this is what I got to do to be good at this. Because I didn't know, like what you was doing, Kat. If you didn't tell me what you was doing with somebody, I wouldn't know. Because as a worker, I'm not watching the other matches. I'm just thinking about my match that night. You know what I'm saying? Then I come back, take a shower, and I might leave the building, I might not, and I might just be in the dressing room shooting the shit with the boys. And we're doing a pay-per-view, and I don't know what's going on the other matches. Now, I might see it later on the tape the next day, but still, I don't know what the angle you got because I'm not keeping up with it. So when you get out behind the camera, you got to know everything. Why the cat is having a problem with Jeff Jarrett, how did this start, what happened in the last match, and things of that nature. So I had to catch up on everything.
And those are just really the storylines, or do you have to look more about into the wrestler life?
Right.
You know, do you want to stay on? I mean, do you want to give them more information about the storyline of what's going on inside the ring?
Well, it all depends. You got to give them a little history of the match, but this might be y'all third match wrestling each other. We remember last time Ernest Middle was in the ring with Jeff Jarrett, this happened. I really don't think it's going to happen again, Tony.
Right.
You know, stuff
he's
like that.
He's a color commentary, not a play-by-play guy.
Right.
So is there a difference, Stevie Ray, play-by-play?
Well, Tony is telling you everything that went down. If he doesn't know the move, I will tell him the move, you know, or something like that. But Tony is the one giving the play-by-play. Big move, like he said, you know.
Or hammerlock takeover into the head scissors.
Right,
you know.
and I'll say, you know, no, that was...
We're Resite. Of course we offer all-inclusive site work. We're Resite. Of course we have a dynamic site crew. We're Resite. We have secure foundations. We're Resite. Of course we're good stewards. Resite redefines the way site work is done. Contact us at resite.com. It's re-site.com.
Now, who was in your ear at the time you were color commentating?
At first, it was Ed Farrar. But we had a meeting and I told him, I can't listen to you anymore, bro. It wasn't personal. It was the fact that I can't do my shtick and listening to him trying to tell me what to say. So I went to him and I said, you know, I'm going to have to do, and that's when I let them know I got a little experience as this. And I said, I'm going to have to come away from the Stevie Ray character a little bit and be myself and throw the Stevie Ray character in there with tidbits. But I say, you got to stay out of my ear unless it's something important that I missed. And that's when he said, okay. So I really never had to listen to him again.
Now, can you imagine having Vince McMahon in your ear while that was going on, telling you what to say, when to say it? How can you be yourself? That's what I had to go through.
Right.
When I was doing color, he wanted me to go, but then he said, hey, Cat, you talk way more than this guy. Let's slow it down. And he'll yell out stuff, hey, Seth, deer in the headlight.
Right.
And I was like, deer in the headlight, how can I associate that with what's going on? Because it didn't come from me. It was very hard, man.
Well,
I
that's what I'm
to
saying.
quit.
That's what Ed used to do when I first started. And it lasted about 2 weeks. And after that, I was like, I can't do it, man. I can't. First of all, a Stevie Ray character would never say deer in the headlights. I would never say that.
Exactly. So would not, yes.
So it didn't come, it's not authentic. What I would say, I can't even tell you what I say, but if I seen the spot, I would say something, but it would sound like something Stevie Ray would say, not like something someone else would say. You know.
Like yak.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't know what that was, but that's something that me and some of my friends used to call girls. So I just brought it to the TV show.
And it got over.
What about fruit booties?
That's another thing, man. Some of my buddies used to call people. So I brought it to the TV show.
Wait a minute. People like who? I'm just asking. I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking, Steve. Don't be
what
mad.
I'm saying is that was a word that we used to define certain people if we were having conversations amongst ourselves. That's all I'm saying.
Do you think that word can go today?
What I'm saying is this. You just asking me about a word. I'm not going to get into today's, how people look at things today. This wasn't today. This was back then. So let's leave it at that.
Okay, well, we'll leave it at that. But I'm just asking questions because I might want to use it. I don't know the narrative. I don't know the narrative, the adjective. I don't know how to use that. So that's why I'm asking you. How do you throw it out there?
That's just the way you. If somebody call another man, hey punk, get away from me. Same thing.
Oh, so you use that to describe somebody.
Like if somebody's young, messing with somebody, and they just little young punks.
Let me get real close to the camera, so I want to look you in the eyes when you say. So
I just explained it, bro. Why are you harping on this?
All right, I'm just asking. I ain't trying to get you in no trouble, Stevie.
I ain't in no trouble. I said it on national television.
Okay. All right.
But they asked me to stop saying it.
Who did? Who asked you to stop saying it?
The powers that be. The powers that be came to me and told me I had to stop saying it on television.
You were hurting some feelings backstage.
See that got big Stevie Ray got Stevie Ray in trouble. I think that yak stuff got him in trouble too. And then
in our hood, Cat, yak
we different from that.
Yak means cognac.
Yeah.
In our community, whenever you hear the word cognac, that's a whiskey.
So you were calling the woman or the girl a yak, a whiskey? You were calling her a whiskey?
But see, this is the thing. I used it in two different ways.
I know
I used it as yak, and then I would say squat at this.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I would say both words.
Yeah, you did. You did. I remember that.
But the definition of both words are not the same, but I'm not going to get into what they mean.
See, one thing I know about you, Big Stevie, you really clever with your words now. See, I see you've been practicing. You like one of the old preachers in the hood that stood on the corner and been a pimp for a little while, that sold drugs, and now he owned the church. And you go in there and you know how to growl and hold your head down and look like a preacher. So you sound like a preacher now. I mean, are there anything you want to let us in on?
No. I'm just trying to entertain the people.
Oh,
I'm just trying to entertain the people. That's all.
You really clever with the words.
Different perspective. That's all. Just trying to be me.
Well, what about this little thing you had that really got you in trouble?
What's that?
It almost got you in trouble with me a couple of times. This damn thing you used to call the flipper. And where did you come up with that? Where did you come up with that?
You talking about the slapjack?
Yeah, the slapjack. Yeah, that's slapjack.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you where that came from. This true story. I remember watching the old gangster movie. I had, I don't know, a week off or something like that. And I was watching the old gangster movies, and the gangsters come to a guy, this is like a movie made in like the 30s or 40s. And the gangster guy said, hey, man, come up to a guy and say, hey, man, the boss want to see you. And the dude was like, hey, man, you tell the boss, whoever the boss was, I ain't got time. I'll see him when I get time. And the guy said, no, man, the boss want to see you right now. And then before he get his words out, the guy hit him on the back of the head with a slapjack. And I just thought that was hilarious, that you could do that back in the day. So I remember I was talking in the dressing room to a bunch of the guys one day, and I said, man, if I had a gimmick, my gimmick would be, man, I'll have me a slapjack. And I would take it out when somebody messed with me and hit them right in the back of the head with it, because I was talking about that movie. So somebody heard it, I don't know who, took it to the producers, and I come to the building one day, and Doug Dillinger come up to me and go, hey, man, I'm supposed to make a slapjack for you. I'm like, what? It's almost like today when you talk on your phone and all of a sudden you see things on YouTube that you was talking about.
Absolutely.
And they said, this gonna be your gimmick. And then Russo came to him, yeah, this gonna be your finishing gimmick from now on. So that's where it came from. It wasn't me. I was just talking, like me and you talking and somebody hear us. That's where it came on. I really didn't want to do that. I was just talking, idle conversation that I thought was funny.
So Big Stevie, let's get down to a little something else. How was it that you and your brother split up? And how did you feel when you first heard? Because I know you wrestled with him for a lot of years.
Actually, I'm gonna tell you how that whole thing happened. I had gotten sick from some bad alcohol. And when we go in and do our physical, my enzymes were very, very high. So they sent me home to get it taken care of. And they thought it was something going on with my liver, because, you know, bad alcohol messes with your liver. So when I did my physical, my blood work didn't look right. So I had to go to the doctor here in town. And the doctor was like, hey, just take some vitamins, drink a lot of water, and, you know, everything will be better. I come back a week later, and he was like, everything, the enzymes going through the roof again. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Well, what had happened was when I drank the bag liquor, by me being off, I'm going out, hanging out with my buddies. You see what I'm saying? And I would have a drink. And every time I would drink, it make my liver bad all over again. So when they do another blood test or something like that, boom, it's showing that the enzymes are through the roof. So finally they had to do a biopsy to find out what was wrong. And at that time when I was off, my brother was doing singles matches.
Okay.
And so when I came back, you know, he was, you know, doing the singles matches and stuff like that and working as a singles wrestler. And then that's when I went to the NWO.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's when I went to the NWO and all that took place. And then after all of that, they wanted to, I turned heel again. And man, all this stuff kind of comes together. But I went to Russo, and I told Russo, I don't want you to stop my brother's singles push. I wanted to keep going, and I want to do other stuff. So that's when we came up with the Harlem Heat 2000, all this other stuff, because I went to and got Big Teddy back in and all that stuff and brought Ahmed in and all that stuff. What I was trying to do, and Russo was That's why I'll never speak bad about the man. I came up with the idea to give my brother a push so he could get into that world champion type light. Because I know Vince liked him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how everything took place, and that's how my brother ended up getting the strap and all that stuff. And me going to commentary. Because what I wanted to do was work behind the scenes. I wanted to be an agent because we didn't have nobody of color in those positions. And I felt as though who was more worthy of it than me.
Yeah, you're right. But you still had some good times in the ring, though, man. You and the
I
NW.
know that, but I wanted to slowly but surely gravitate to being out of the ring or just working here and there. You know what I'm saying? But being somebody in the office at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Because
like go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Stevie.
Like going on the house shows and stuff like that. I wanted to be one of those guys to keep. I just wanted to show another ethic because we had a lot of young guys coming in and a lot of different guys coming in, and nobody was really showing those guys how to be a real professional. Because I would see them on the road when we go on the road, and that's what I wanted to do.
So let me ask you this, Stevie. Have you ever been in a match and you felt like the guy was trying to take advantage of you and you got angry?
Only one time, and I was with Vader, and I had to put him on his ass. God rest his soul.
Whoa, who?
Vader.
Big Van Vader.
Yeah.
Wow, tell me about that.
Vader was just being Vader, and I lost my temper.
What did he do?
Right hand over the top.
Oh.
Same one I'm gonna catch you with when we get together.
Oh shit!
Hey, I want you to know, son had already told me what your plans are, Big Stevie. And I let's just see how that work out for you.
Okay.
Let's just see how that work out for you, Big Steve. I know you've been practicing your boxing. You think you're a karate guy now. Now you got.
I never professed to be a karate guy. I just let people know I can handle myself. That's all. That's all I told Sonny with them little beady eyes. Okay, that's all I told him.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. Good, man. So wrestling, let's go back to wrestling. We ain't going to talk about karate. But wrestling been really good to you say, during your life, right?
Yeah. I respect wrestling, man. It's been very good to me. And I tell people that all the time, man. It's so many people love the wrestling game, but they looking at it from the outside in. If you've never been on the inside out, man, you never really know how really complex this business really is, man. And what you have to be to survive in it.
You see who I'm pointing at someone on the left. I tried to tell him that same
I can't
thing.
see him. I can't see him.
Can you see my finger? I'm going, my finger going right at you, Ray.
Listen, I know the ins and outs of it. Hell, I was a promoter. I've done it all, man. I've actually been in the ring myself. My back's just real bad. I can't take bump.
I'm gonna be honest with you, brother, with no disrespect to you. That means nothing.
I know. I get all that.
I'm not gonna get into a debate with you about that. But if that's what you want to believe, believe it. But at the end of the day, this is what I tell people. If this business hasn't paid your bills, if this business hasn't paid your alimony, okay, your child support,
you hadn't done it,
your car notes, your college funds, and all this kind of stuff, if the business by itself hasn't done that, you've never been in this business, man. You've been around it. It's a difference. It's better. I've been around NASCAR, but I ain't never worked in NASCAR. I got a lot of buddies that, from the great Dale Earnhardt to Rusty Wallace and all these guys that used to love when I came around. Been to their shops and all that stuff, but I ain't never been in a car going around the track 500 miles an hour. 200 miles an hour, and I get paid to do it.
I got you.
So it's a big difference, and I'm not trying to, like I say, be disrespectful and stuff like that. And that is one of the problems that I have when I discuss professional wrestling. That's one of the reasons I really don't like getting into the real nitty gritty of professional wrestling because so many people think they know this business, bro, but they really don't. And
I'm with
that business been near and dear to my heart. I've left pieces of my body all over this world,
Oh, yeah.
let alone the country. And to go through that on a nightly basis and work 327 days in 1 year, and it ain't but 365 in a whole year. And then someone is going to come and tell me, I know your business. I got a
Right.
problem with that. That's all.
Well, Big Stevie, it's one thing I noticed about you. Talking about wrestling, when you and I have conversation, we don't just talk about wrestling. But it's one
Right.
thing I can say about you being in the business for so long, being a veteran, Hall of Famer, world tag team champion. I've never heard you say too many negative things about the business, about anybody in the business. You said whatever he's doing, that's his business.
Right.
So what made you have that outlook on wrestling? You know?
Well, that's really not from wrestling. That's just my upbringing. To be honest with you, that's just how I was raised. You know, you and I've had these conversations, man. I'm straight off the corner in South Park, Southeast Houston, bro. And I'd have been around drugs. I'd have been around prostitution. I'd have been around, seeing people get stabbed, seeing people get shot. I'd have been around all of that. And it ain't never messed with my psychic because it ain't the fact that I'm trying to get away. It ain't the fact that I came up in the boonies or nothing like that. I just seen it. And you learn from stuff like that. I always wanted to be a better person and not gravitate to this. I always wanted to be a somebody. So I felt as though that was one of my goals in life, to be a somebody. I don't know what kind of somebody, but I wanted to be the kind of guy that people respect. So if I want people to respect me, I got to respect them, regardless what. If I know a girl that's a prostitute, she's just a girl to me. I don't look down on her. Because I got respect for what she's doing. At least she's honest about it. Growing up around pimps and stuff like that, when they at the gambling hall, and I'm in there giving them drinks and stuff like that. I'm 15 years old, 14 years old. That's normal to me. I don't look down on them because they break me off a couple of 20s or whatever like that, and I can go to school and have some money in my pocket. But at the end of the day, I know what they do, but I'm not judging them. And they would always tell me, hey, boy, hit them books. Keep playing sports. They never say, hey, come go with me and become what I am. That's the way I look at life. So when I get in the wrestling business, I have that same ethic. Guy wanna mess his life up? What can I do for him?
Well, now let me ask you another question to go along. Then I'm gonna let Ray ask you a few, then we'll let you go. But okay. I want to ask you, why didn't you ever go to WWE after WCW?
I never went to WWE because I knew deep down in my heart how they treat African Americans. Okay? And I wasn't going to go through that. I wanted people to remember, first of all, I wanted people to remember Harlem Heat as what we were, not what WWE turned them into.
Yeah.
Or would probably turn them into, like they did everybody else coming from WCW. And you and I have had this conversation. I told you what was going to happen when everybody went up there. Everything was for their agenda to make those guys look, especially if they left and came up when the company closed. Now, if they left before that, they got to buy. If they left after that, they made every one of them look like cottage cheese in some way, shape, or form.
I was one of those guys. And you actually warned me before. Right. You didn't warn me. You let me make my own decision. But you said when I called, you didn't tell me that. You told me that it was going to be hard. But then once I got up there and I went through what I went through, I remember calling you, talking to you. You never rubbed it in my face, but you said, I told you, I knew what they were going to do. They were going to they just bring you in just to bring you in to make you look like dog food and then get rid of you. And people think, oh, he didn't get over because they didn't try to get you over.
They could have
did
got you over if they
everybody.
wanted to.
Yep.
They could have got you over if they wanted to. But you know, that's just the way they do business. And like I said, I already knew that. And so that's the main reason. I'm like, I'd rather go overseas and hang out with the cat than be up there, you know, being made look like a Saba Simba or some bullshit like that.
Well, dead air. It's no good.
No,
Yeah,
it's no good because we were waiting for you, Ray.
Well, I didn't know I had the green light. I didn't know I had the green light. I got
to Mr.
chastised last time I tried to say something, so I'm gonna be real quiet.
No, you didn't get chastised. Like I said, I never chastise anybody, brother. I just try to educate people on what they don't know. I feel as though that's my job.
I got you.
Yeah.
But I'm more of a fan. I'm from the fans' perspective.
That's good.
This podcast
Cool.
works because you got the wrestler and the karate man, and then you got the fan that's been, you know,
you got the wrestler and the alleged karate man.
Alleged karate.
Yeah, I haven't seen the trophies. I heard about them. I haven't seen them.
Hold up, wait a minute.
I'm talking to this man, Ernest Golly.
Look,
He's trying to show you a plaque from
What is that?
1984.
No, that's a ring right there, baby. Look what it's on outside. World Championship ring, baby. You want to see some? You want to see some more stuff? I was ready for you. I was ready for you. World class stuff, baby. World class stuff.
Yeah, I was just telling you. Okay, I'm glad I finally got.
Steven, maybe you forgot. Maybe you forgot.
Rookie of the year.
Yes, maybe you forgot that, Steven. Let me see what else I got right here. I got all kinds of stuff right here, Big Steve. I just want to let you know.
You didn't tell your man that I also wrote an article in every month's WCW magazine.
Oh yeah, you did. You did have his
and
own
guess who I wrote an article about that he never thanked me for? Take a wild guess. Take a wild guess.
You wrote one for Ernest.
Yes.
I don't remember that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you do.
Do you have a copy of that?
Man, I never kept that stuff. I never cared about it. I didn't know years later. I was just doing it because they asked me to.
It was fun though. I want to get that, Steve. I want to get a copy of that.
Yeah. It was, no, I did. They would give me different things to talk about every week, different subjects, and they's like a wrestler. And I seen the one day they said you can pick a wrestler, and I said, what wrestler would I want to talk about? I was like, oh, I could talk about the cat, and I wrote about the cat.
Well, I know
but he never thanked me for it. But it's all good.
Yes, I did. I always thank you.
You remember when I wrote that article about the Nitro girls, and I told everybody, to watch their back pockets. When I came to work, all the girls was mad at me.
Oh yeah, they sure were. You talking? Hey, did you remember when we went over to London or Germany and one of the wrestlers passed out in the back locker room?
I thought we was in Canada. I thought we was in Canada.
Yeah, I think we was in Canada. But I know you were laughing so hard that I couldn't believe you were that mean to laugh at a man who's passed out on the floor and using the bathroom right in his pants right on the floor. And you laughed the whole time. I mean, I don't get that, Stevie. You just a mean dude, man.
Man, I was laughing at you.
I was afraid. I wasn't used to that. I wasn't used to the drugs and the stuff like that, man. I wasn't used to talking to a guy straight in the face and he's okay. Then I turn around and see this guy 5 minutes later, he drooling from the mouth, his eyes droopy. Like, what the hell is this? I wasn't used to that, man.
I hear you, Cat. I hear you. So you weren't used to a man just passing out and things like that.
Hey, this guy passed out. They called the ambulance. They came and picked him up, took him to the emergency room. looked like I thought he was dying. Next thing you know, the next day, you see the same dude walking around in the back with a red working. I was like, what in the hell? What was wrong with him? How can he pass? I thought he was completely dead. He passed out, eyes rolled back in his head and everything.
So you never seen a man pass out. You never seen a man pass out and defecate on himself at the same time.
And I didn't want to go there, but no, I haven't. Not for whatever. Not a guy who was healthy and walking around a few minutes before that.
Right.
And then next thing you know, he on the floor and people calling his name. Wake up! Wake up! I said, that motherfucker doing more than sleeping. Somebody about throw some cold water on his face.
I think didn't they put one of them cold towels like they do back in the Western days? You know, like
cold compress on the forehead.
Yeah, I think they did that. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember. I can't remember this vividly as Ernest does, but I do remember it.
Well, I was kind of
scarred. Is that person still around? Is that person still alive to this day?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll never call his name.
Okay. Well, I don't want to know it. I'm just wanting to know if he's still around. That's all. I mean, because
oh yeah, he's still around. He's still around.
So
maybe
okay.
learn.
So okay, you're a fan. You're Mark, Ray. Go ahead and talk to Big Stevie.
Well,
like a fan.
Well, I'm just saying. I was just giving perspective on how we come about doing this. And on the serious note, when we first started the podcast, you were one of the first names that was mentioned about getting on here because he does thank you. I mean, I'm not trying to talk for him, but there's a respect factor, and all bullshit aside, you know, you did help make him, you and your brother, and he's very thankful about that. That's some highway talk between him and I, you know, going down the road. You know, and when we do this,
well, you know, Ernest and I have had this, you know, a certain high regard for each other from the first day we met. You know what I'm saying? I've always had the utmost respect for him. And even though, you know, he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way in the business and things of that nature, I was always there to make sure, you know, it never went any further than it could have gone. Things of that nature. Because, you know, he didn't come up the traditional way. He didn't come up the traditional way in the professional wrestling business. I had to make sure, I had to look over him to make sure he didn't do something that he might regret years later. So it was always good.
Whoa. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. I wasn't going to tell him. I'm
trying to talk to you, man. I'm trying to. Now you want to go to something else, man.
Well, let me tell this story right now. You might have to help me.
No, man, you had plenty of time to tell this story.
No, this is a good one. What's the guy named Buddha man? What's his name? Hogan friend?
Brutus Beefcake.
Brutus Beefcake.
Now, I had a match with this guy on the Saturday morning show.
This is not true, but go ahead.
I had a match with this guy on Saturday morning show. So when he found out he gonna have a match with me and I was gonna win, he was highly upset. I mean, he was highly upset. He didn't even want to come and go over the match with me. So we finally got to the match, making the match. We put together the match, and then we were getting ready to go to the ring. Everything was set. And it was so easy. It was just a simple kick to the head when he bent me over. 1, 2, 3, roll up, then I roll out the ring. Easy match. So Stevie Ray walking around, he always walked around kind of half dressed, sliding his feet, you know, with his thing. For some reason, he didn't put his top on. He just left the top open, showing the big arms and his shoulder. And he was like, who you got a match with? I said, Brutus Beefcake. And he said, oh, yeah. And he was like, okay, all right. So we went through the match. Everything went the way it was supposed to go. I did everything we were supposed to do. It was easy. For some reason, he rolled up. Brutus Beefcake was mad. He rolled out the ring and said, this guy's green. He making the business look bad. I don't know what he's doing. And I was taught whenever someone did the job for you or you lost to you, did the job for you, the first thing you say is, thank you.
Right.
And that's what I did. I told him, soon I went 1, 2, 3. I said, thank you. Rolled out the ring. He got out the ring and he just went past me. He didn't say nothing else. So as I get to the back of as I start towards the locker room, Stevie Ray walking my way from the locker room, and he stopped. He said, "Who did you just have a match with?" I said, "Bruce." He knew that. He knew I just had a match with Bruce Beefcake, and he knew he was mad. So he said, "Bruce is mad at you." I said, "For what?" He said, "Man, that cat, that green, you know what? He should have never been in the ring yet." So I said, "I told that man I was sorry." So Steve said, "Well, he said he should have kicked your ass or something." So I said, "What?" I said, "Come on." I walked back to the locker room, and a lot of people don't know, years before that, Brutus Beefcake was in a real bad accident, a boating accident.
Yeah.
And him and Hogan were best friends. So what I hear, he split his skull open. They had to put some kind of steel or iron plate to hold his skull together. So when I got back, I was so mad. The only thing I could think of is that plate, that iron plate in his head. And I told him, and Steven was standing right there watching. He just started the whole thing. I looked at him, I said, "Bro, I told you I was sorry. Now, if you keep talking, I'm going to kick that damn iron plate out of your head." And Steven laughed so much, man. He was mad. He started the whole thing, man. And the guy just sit there. Brutus Beefcake didn't say anything back. He just sit right there and listen to me yell at him because he probably knew he was wrong. But when I told him I'm going to kick that iron plate out of your head, Steven just damn near shit in his pants like the guy did who fell out of Germany.
Or Canada.
Now,
country.
Well, to whatever we was, man. Steven was that kind of guy for me. He know I was young. He know I was I was hot-headed. He know I was a switch. Man, this dude started a fight between me, Brutus Beefcake. He damn near had me to beat up all the Armstrong boys.
Well, Steve, I don't know if Beefcake said all that, but I thought that's how I interpreted it. And I could have been wrong.
No.
I could have been wrong.
You came
but
out.
That's kind of like how I heard it, though. But it can't. Maybe I put it in that context, man. But it sounded like he said that to me. He might have just said, "Hey, man, the guy green and he needs to learn a little bit more." Man, maybe that's what he said. But to me,
it sounded like he was gonna kick your ass.
Well, sound like if another time, another day, maybe he would have. I don't know.
I don't run from no fight. Steven knew that. So as soon as he told me that, I said, "Okay, I'm going to the locker room." And guess who was walking closely behind me? Like he was the security guard. He walking behind me. He didn't even go in the locker room when I started yelling at the guy. He's standing in the hall looking.
No, I was on the other side behind Beefcake.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I was on the other side behind Beefcake. And Beefcake, I'm looking like, I can see why he was looking kind of perplexed. Maybe I didn't have the words right. Looking back on it now, I don't know.
You started that whole thing, Big Steven.
Well, I'm glad Beefcake didn't get his ass beat.
No, yeah, me too.
Didn't get that plate.
I'm gonna tell you, I would have never let Cat get close. I was putting myself in position to make sure Cat couldn't make that move. As soon as he made that move, I would have grabbed him around his waist and push him back. You know what I'm saying? It's just like working at a club. You know what I'm saying? Just like working at a club. I put myself in position. I wouldn't let it go that far.
Well, Big Steven, I'm listen, man. It's been fun, man. We can talk like this for 2 hours, man. And
hey, man, let your boy has some closing questions. We'll let him.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
No, bro. Go ahead. You learning to talk to wrestling. Go ahead and talk to Steven.
So, now that you're away from wrestling, you're retired, you're a WWE Hall of Famer. How do you keep yourself busy other than the podcast? You got other business?
Oh man, I still work with different organizations and stuff like that around town, and what I'm saying, it gives me time to go do a lot of things that I usually didn't have time to do. So right now, I just do a lot of relaxing, helping out over my buddy's community care, sir. My buddy Scott, he's got a community care, and things like that. Different people in my old neighborhood and stuff like that, and for some of the seniors and things of that nature, some of the young people also. And I still do a lot of personal appearances around town. I don't really do a lot of them, a lot of the wrestling conventions and stuff like that anymore because they really starting to get on my nerves. But I still do little paying gigs and stuff like that around town. But mainly, I'm just resting. I work out every day, and podcasting, which I really love. I'm writing a book right now. And
Awesome.
I also, a few years ago, I wrote a documentary that I'm trying to put into place also. So those are the things that really get my juices going. I'm not a guy, and that's why I say I'm not a guy that really I enjoy having conversations like this with Ernest because he and I come from the same ilk. But
Right.
I'm a guy like present and tomorrow instead of yesterday. Because so many people, when it comes to professional wrestling, they still hang on to yesterday. I'm still trying to make magic with I still got dreams. Wrestling used to be a dream of mine. And once I accomplished it, like I said, it was a dream just to do it, not to excel in it and all these other things that came with it. But I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, I've done all I can do with professional wrestling. Now I need to give back to it in another way.
Okay. Hey, Stevie, why you talking about the documentary? Why don't you pitch it to Big Ray? Big Ray, him and his buddy have a big film production company, right? Right?
Well, you talking about my documentary?
Yeah.
What's it about?
Oh yeah, I will once I get into position to get it off the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, I will. And I don't want to talk about it on the air. I can talk about it with you in private, but
okay. I got you. You don't want nobody. You don't want nobody jacking your ID. I get it.
You know how that goes.
Absolutely, it happens all the time.
Right.
I've had 3 or 4 things stolen from me over the years. It's not good. It's not good. But I know from the fans' perspective, you brought a lot of joy because I loved Harlem Heat. That would be one of my favorite tag teams.
I appreciate that.
I'm not your your average white guy. I'm a brother.
What is the average white guy?
I just a Tom, if you will. I'm not one of those.
I don't think that's average to that degree. But I know exactly what you're talking about.
Hey, Ray, why don't you tell him in Dusty Rhodes' voice who you are?
I'm gonna tell you, baby, that there ain't many people out there that's 257 pounds of blue-eyed soul that captivated the country. That Stevie Ray and his brother
Dusty Rhodes stole one of my ideas also.
Did he?
No doubt.
Yeah. Another thing I have written, I didn't know I was good at coming up with ideas and writing stuff. I didn't know I was good at it back then. And Dusty them stole it. Jacked it, cat.
Damn. Hey, tell her what Cole. Hey, Ray, tell her what Stone Cold would have said to Dusty was jacking his movie or his ideas.
I don't care if it's Dusty Rhodes. I don't care if it's Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles. I'll stomp a mud hole in his ass and walk it dry, son. And that's the bottom line.
Oh, that's good. That's
Stevie Ray said so.
That's very good. That's very good.
But listen, all jokes aside and all that shit, I call myself a smart mark. I mean, I'm never been into business.
There are smart marks.
Not been in your business
than others. Yeah.
But since 1975, since Baron von Raschke and Paul Jones.
Paul Jones. Oh my God.
Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat. I flipped through the TV one morning at my grandma's house, and I've been a fan ever since. And
there's nothing wrong with that, man. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the fact that so many people, like I said, I do podcasts on Thursdays and Fridays for other people, but it's so many people that are becoming podcasters now, and they really don't know how to interview professional wrestlers.
Right.
And that is why I started charging people. Because if I'm going to give up my time to somebody that don't know shit, I got to get paid. I got to get paid for it. Because it's a waste of time, man. Because I can talk about these same things on my own show. Like the stuff Cat talking about. See, I would never mention that. He mentioned it. like getting into fights with other wrestlers. You never heard Stevie Ray talk about nothing like that.
Nope.
Now, if somebody was aggressive with me, I'm going to have to defend myself or retaliate. You see the difference?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not going to just go jump on somebody because he may have said something derogatory toward me, and I'm not even there.
So you would never go to like some guy that was, barely hanging on to his body because he's got a plate in his head and just jump on him and make him feel real bad about himself.
Talk bad to him.
Talk
bad to him. Talk about his medical condition. I would never do that. I would never do that. I wouldn't. I'll pull the man to the side, not in front of 30 other guys. That's what I would do.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying. I would pull a man to the side and I say, look here, dog. I don't know what happened out there, brother. If I did the wrong thing, I apologize. But I'd appreciate, man, you're trying to help me instead of hurting me, man. Because I really respect you, brother. And I look up to guys like you because you paved the way for people like me. That's all. So if I messed up, man, I'm sorry. That's what I would do.
Yeah, because you're humble. You're humble like that.
But see, everybody ain't like that, dog. They want to beat people up.
Well,
I'm talking to that man. I'm not about you. I'm talking about some certain people. Why you always think I'm talking about you, man?
Then go ahead, Ray. Go ahead and finish with Steven so we can go, man.
We done, baby. We done. We wrapped this thing up.
Hey, Big Steven, thanks for coming, man.
Thank you for coming
no problem,
on,
brother. No problem.
Hey, Big Steven, I love you, brother. And
love
thanks
you
for
too,
coming
dog.
on, man. Thanks
love
for
you too,
coming
dog.
on. All right, Big Ray.
Hey, keep up the good work, man. I hope the show is successful. Keep up the good work.
All right, Big Steven. All right, brother. I'll talk to you.
I appreciate your time.
No problem, brother.